many people cannot actually put a proper value on brand value. It's all perceived value based on company valuations. But what people are doing now is they're detaching the brand from the company and using NFTs as a way to claim ownership of brands. Okay, so this is a new innovation even when it comes to brand ownership and also digital wearables. Now, many might think, who the hell would spend a lot of money on things that you cannot touch and feel? In-game assets, which means things you buy digitally, not NFTs, which means it's your World of Warcraft or whatever game you're playing, even Candy Crush, the gems that you buy. In-app purchases today, well, a few years ago, was already a $50 billion industry, which means that people are spending more and more money on digital, okay? And whereas by 2025, they expect this to be quadruple, and this doesn't even factor in NFTs yet, okay? So what kind of use cases would it have in future cities? Give you examples. South Korea, 2030 wants to be a metaverse city. Why? Because they want to put all government services on the metaverse. Instead of lining up to make your passport, who got passport issues, right? Making passport, lining up for passport, no longer. You still want to speak to someone, feel like it's a real thing without lines. Metaverses are a way to reduce congestion. And that's why they're evolving. Now, imagine if government services are all in the metaverse, how would things change? How would even government offices change? The dynamics of our everyday life would change, especially this is normal. They are thinking of giving or at least making it very cheap for every citizen to own a VR headset just so that they can go into the metaverse. So South Korea is doing that. Many companies are already doing, including a Malaysian company, Malaysian developer is building something for metaverses for online shopping to replace it, all right? That's also very interesting. You go inside, you can see a 3D of the item, you click buy, and then it gets delivered to your house. So you simulate retail without having to actually have retail. And of course, many other people are also building experiences like concerts, etc., where you can go and gather, and there's no limit. You're not going to have a stadium capacity problem because you can fill it infinitely in the metaverse. So these are just three very simple use cases how, because of the integration of metaverses and future city development, like what South Korea is doing, can even change the way their entire city is designed. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think my time is up, right? I don't know if you have any questions, but if you do, I think we have some time for questions, right? Yeah, so, and that's my contact as well, in case you guys want to contact with me. Just don't call me. Text is fine. Yeah, so if anyone has any questions.
Yes, so round of applause for George Wong and his sharing. So thank you, George. And I think we'll wait for a while for the Q&A. Just a shout out for PAM President, Architect Sarli, for visiting us at the PAM Future City. And maybe on behalf of PAM, maybe give us a short word. Yeah.
Sorry, George, to interrupt. Thank you, everyone, especially to our lovely convener, Architect Alice, for putting together this fine pavilion and all the curating the speakers for today. Yep, perhaps a round of applause for Architect Alice. Future cities and the future evolution of the architectural profession is something we look very seriously at PAM. And I think it's timely that talks such as yours and concerning smart mobility, smart cities, smart economy, and all these very, very important topics of the future are discussed, especially to the public. And I think we are more than happy to support at PAM. And I do have a question for you, George. When is our NFT market going to recover from the sudden fall, yeah? And our crypto?
Crypto and NFTs are two different things.
Yeah, but because they are linked, so when you some NFTs, when say it's worth, say 10,000 1,000 Ethereum, for example, Of course, now the value would be far less, so it's tagged to certain cryptocurrencies. So what's your prediction?
I don't give financial advice, so all I can say is that cyclically, crypto markets work in a 3 to 5 year cycle. So right now, because of the bear, and a lot of people are hoping for a quick up, that happened in 2017, didn't happen. The low actually stays for a few years. But it's not a bad thing for the market, right? I've been through it. Because what happens is serious people who are building serious technology that helps society will continue to build in the quiet periods, right? And all the speculators will go out of the market, right? And what you see left is actually people who are really building. And those are the ones that you will be using the tech 5 years from now. So that's how we see it, yeah.
Thank you. I tend to agree. Thank you for your talk. Thank you again, Alice. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Please continue the good work here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Architect Saleh. So do we have any more questions from... Okay.
Hi, Josh. Jay, thank you for coming here. So I actually have a question here. So I believe there's a group of people who are very concerned about linking the Web3 and the Web2 together. So my thought was, is it possible that I believe there are some people it's already doing, they are purchasing real estate, the actual real estate here with cryptocurrencies, right? And then my question is, will it be the in the future people can actually buy real estate in this world with crypto, all right? And if we can do that, will the property prices be affected by the cryptocurrency as well? Because if we are purchasing properties in Malaysia, we are purchasing with Malaysia ringgit. But if we are going to purchase properties from overseas like US, we're also going to use Malaysia ringgit, convert to US dollar, and then only purchase it. So the price becomes different and different a lot. So what if we can use crypto to purchase every real estate in the world? Then how will the economics be affected? What is your thought?
That's a very common question, and it's a good one. Thank you for that. So there are actually many implementations of real estate with cryptos. Even I'm doing a crypto REITs, as I mentioned in the beginning. So for properties, especially real assets, so for example, one of the examples of how real assets with crypto will be is that the ownership of the property is linked to an NFT, something that I'm working on right now. So if you own the NFT, you own the house. That's just because the title, the deed, the land, everything is linked to the NFT. So the final owner of the NFT. There's some risk involved, but that's one of the technologies that needs to happen, and governments need to accept it. There's other issues of land titles that have to be concerned about. So there's a lot of elements before mainstream public can start buying with cryptos. That's number one. Now, if people want to purchase real estate with cryptos, the most likely scenario is when governments introduce their own digital cryptocurrency. Every government in the world is looking at it. Whether they do it is a question, right? China obviously has piloted it and has been piloting it for a couple of years. Malaysia obviously has looked at it, but it's a very sensitive topic when it comes to cash. Because if central banks start issuing their digital cryptocurrencies, there's this concern of control, capital outflows, managing the valuation. So governments will take time. And I said this in many research papers as well. To me, the only way for everyday transactions to occur in the form of cryptocurrencies is when central banks issue. It's the most practical thing because you can't run a business and today Bitcoin is worth what's that called, 20,000, tomorrow is 30,000. That might make you happy, but the buyer said. On the other hand, it can also go down to 10, for example, right? I'm not saying it will, I'm just saying the fluctuations are too large for us to operate and run businesses. So stable coins like USD-based tokens already exist, so the concept is there. The issue is always about control. But I think it's an eventuality because if they really want to stop money laundering, cryptocurrency actually is more traceable than cash. And the number one vehicle for money laundering is cash. So eventually, I think once they figured out control mechanisms, they would actually implement. When that happens, you will see a lot of properties perhaps being purchased in cryptos. And it's easy for even cross-border purchases as well, right? So that answers some of those things. The only thing is that right now there's also some tech challenges. Many people have, for example, um, land title issues. All the land title for many countries around the world are actually still in pen and paper or printed copies. They're not actually digitized. So theoretically, with crypto, blockchain, NFTs, a property transaction can take 5 minutes. Verify identity, verify financial capability, and then at the same time verify ownership, instantaneous transfer. Theoretically possible, and transfer of land titles, etc., all occurs digitally. But that requires governments to go smart governments, right? And I can't say we have reached that level yet, even for Malaysia. And that's something that we have to work towards too, right? So these are a lot of things need to happen. These are not overnight things. We have talked about this 5 years ago, and we'll probably still be talking about it 5 years from now because government-linked initiatives are also very bureaucratic, right? So that's my response to that. And I don't, because of the stablecoin, I don't think it will affect the price in the market. Yeah. Any other questions? One last one, I guess. Any other questions? No? If not, I'm still around for a couple of minutes after the session. If can, please approach me. With that, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Right, so once again, round of applause for George, and thank you once again, George, for your presentation. And due to time, we need to clear out the area really soon. But you guys are free to connect with George and discuss more about the topic. So once again, thank you for everyone for joining ARCHIDEX Day 2. And come back tomorrow for Day 3, and we'll have even more speaker lineups tomorrow. Thank you.